Imagine a dynasty that's been around for centuries, a power that feels like it will last forever, and then it all comes crashing down in a single fiery day. That's exactly what we're talking about today, the story of China's Shang Dynasty. It's an incredible tale of a tyrant, a rebellion, and one single battle that literally changed everything. So, how does that happen? That's the big question, right? How can an empire that's been in charge for almost 700 years, with a gigantic army, just collapse? Well, the answer comes down to two very different kings, one epic battle, and one of the most powerful political ideas in all of history.
You know, every great story of rebellion needs a really great villain. And this one starts with the last king of the Shang Dynasty, a man we remember today as King Zhou. This was a ruler who had everything you could possibly imagine, and he lost it all.
And this quote right here, this really gets to the heart of King Zhou's biggest problem, his arrogance. It wasn't just that he was cruel. He was so sure, so completely confident that his right to rule was absolute. He thought he had this kind of cosmic permission slip that could never be revoked. As you'll see, that belief, that was his biggest mistake. King Zhou's time on the throne was basically a masterclass in how not to be a king. He was building these ridiculously lavish palaces while his people starved. He came up with these horrifying tortures for anyone who dared to speak out against him. And he totally ignored any good advice from his ministers. By doing all this, he wasn't just losing the support of the people on the ground. In their eyes, he was losing something much bigger, the favor of the heavens themselves. So, as all this darkness and corruption was growing in the Shang court, a new light was starting to rise out in the west. And this is where we meet the hero of our story, King Wu, the leader of the rival Zhou state. And I mean, the contrast between these two guys could not be more dramatic. It's like night and day. Where King Zhou was cruel and arrogant, King Wu was seen as kind and humble. Where Zhou disrespected the gods, Wu honored them. So King Wu wasn't just putting together an army. He was playing the long game, building a reputation as exactly the kind of leader that heaven would want to put on the throne. So the stage was set. You had a tyrant who was convinced he was invincible, going up against a virtuous rebel who believed he was on a mission from the heavens. You just know this is all heading for one place, a massive winner-take-all showdown. 700,000. That's the reported size of King Zhou's army. Just let that sink in. An absolutely enormous force that completely dwarfed the rebel army. I mean, on paper, this should have been an impossible fight for King Wu. But as we all know, numbers on a battlefield don't always tell the whole story. So at the Battle of Muye, King Wu leads his army of just 50,000 men in a gutsy charge straight into the massive Shang army. And then, the unthinkable happened. The Shang soldiers, remember, a lot of them were slaves or people who just hated their king. They made a choice. Instead of fighting the rebels, they literally turned their spears around and started fighting with them. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was a mass mutiny on an epic scale. Can you imagine watching your entire army, your whole world, just collapse right in front of your eyes? King Zhou fled back to his capital, but he didn't surrender. Oh no. In one last, final act of defiant vanity, he covered himself in his most precious jewels, walked into his palace, and set the whole thing on fire. And just like that, consumed by the very luxury he loved, the Shang Dynasty was over. But the story doesn't just end in flames, because the victory of the Zhou gave birth to an idea so powerful it would define Chinese politics for the next 3,000 years. It's called the Mandate of Heaven. So what exactly is the Mandate of Heaven? Well, think of it this way. The right to rule isn't just about your bloodline. It's more like a cosmic contract. Heaven gives its blessing to a good and just ruler. But the moment that ruler becomes corrupt or cruel, heaven can withdraw its support. And the signs are things like natural disasters and popular unrest. And this idea created what we now call the dynastic cycle. A new, virtuous leader, like King Wu, starts a dynasty. Things go well, but over generations, his descendants might become corrupt, like King Zhou. Then, heaven shows its anger, and suddenly, the people don't just have a right to rebel, they have a moral duty to overthrow the bad ruler and install a new, worthy one. The fall of the Shang became the ultimate proof that this cycle was real. So, King Wu's victory wasn't just seen as a simple power grab. It was framed as cosmic justice. This was heaven's will. And that was huge because it legitimized his new Zhou dynasty and set a powerful new rule for the future. Any ruler, no matter how mighty, could be overthrown if they lost the mandate of heaven. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. Was the mandate of heaven a genuine belief in cosmic justice that actually kept tyrants in check? Or was it the most brilliant piece of political propaganda ever created? A perfect way for the winners to justify the rebellion and write themselves into history as heroes chosen by the gods. It's definitely something to think about.